All right. Today mark our 5th class for the section, and I believe that some of us might be joining for the first time. Some are been with us, but whichever sections or whichever point through which you join, the material for each of our classes have been added in the e-learning platform. You try as much as you can to go through it. Should you have any question, share it in the discussion forum, or you can reach out to me by email. Okay. Now, today we'll be looking at Module 3, Unit 4, which talks about visual and event programming. Visual and event programming. So here we will be looking at different programming techniques. Though from our course material, we have Visual Basic as a programming language, or in a short word, you call it VB. However, based on the technological trend or change, VB is not really longer a viable programming language or object-oriented languages that is being driven or being utilized in the contemporary tasks. However, based on the fact that it's reflected in our material, we have to discuss it while we illustrate or compare the nature of our tasks using Visual Basic with other programming languages such as Python, C++, Java, etc. I remember those days during my undergrad, we were using Fortran, QBasic in my first year. When we moved down to second year, third year, we were using Visual Basic, VB. Through my final year, we then centered on Java programming language. And this is a technological trend that moves as event passes. Okay? So it is important that you know how these things works, so that as you move on, you'll be able to flow from the trend. You don't have to keep say, after I've known one programming language, you relax. Technology is been evolving. It changes day by day. And that is why you keep with the change in the trend. If not, you'll be left out. This morning, I was having some classes with some students where we discuss about expert systems, artificial intelligence. One of the students asked, if all these programs can be created to solve some human needs, there is a fear that it will relieve people from their jobs. I responded, no, it will only keep you abreast with the events in IT world. You need to get acquainted day by day to embrace the new technology, thereby advancing your own skills. You don't realize that I've known how to type. You will not progress how to maybe use voice to decode or encode your text. So this is how technology is moving. It's just like you see lawyers. Sometimes it assumes that they are more knowledge endowed. Not really, because they read every day. They study every day. Each time they have matter in the court, they need to look at new issues, cases to cite. That is why day by day they read, unlike some other professions. They only dwell on the prior knowledge. That is why IT personnel, experts, you and I, have to be abreast with the technological trends as it unfolds, so that it will match us with the contemporary issues as they rise or as they begin to unfold. So what am I saying? Even though we are discussing Visual Basic, always know that Visual Basic is no longer a viable programming application. There are other more event-driven programming languages, as I said earlier. Example, Python, Java, C++, etc. We have to move on. All I will tell you that Visual Basic is a programming language that be created to solve or to be used to create a specific program that will solve a specific task. The essence of creating a programming or software is to solve a problem. There must be a specific task. Microsoft Word was designed to solve issues of text, document preparations. Excel is an application, a programming application that was created by Microsoft to solve issue of computation. PowerPoint is created to solve issue of presentation. The same way every programming application is designed to solve a particular problem. So, so that is how it is. All right. We can move on. Sorry, let me share this because okay. All right. We'll continue. Now, at the end of these discussions, we'll be looking at different concepts in visual programming languages and how they are used for programming. So when you talk about visual basic or programming languages, it has to do with writing of code, and you create an interface, you create back end using IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. It's an interface, a GUI, where you perform your program. Just like Microsoft Word, the environment where you type something. The same way every programming language have their own interface. Then you can easily download it or get the software in the market and install. It's an open source. You must pay to have it. So one advantage of VB is graphical user interface. It has some properties. When you pick an object, you set it using their properties, just like you pick an object or an image in the Microsoft Word. You can set it the brightness, set the size, set the rotate it, crop it, and the rest of them. The same way it is in Visual Basic. If I may ask, have you played around any programming language, or which of the programming language are you acquainted with? I need your response.
HTML, sir. HTML.
He said,
HTML, sir.
if you want to talk, just unmute yourself and then. Do you have any idea or no idea?
No idea, sir.
Okay. Others that is not talking, maybe others have an idea.
No,
If
sir. No idea, sir.
No idea, sir.
Okay. No problem. How I wish there could be time for us to have the practical demonstrations of Visual Basic programming. Let's see how it's going to be.
Yes, sir. We can plan for that in our next class, sir.
Okay. So all these things I will just explain them, but if we have the applications and you are demonstrating it, it's very easy for you to play around. So we have objects like button, text, icons, form, control. All these are called objects. Then each of the text has a name where you can set it up. Maybe if it's a text, what is going to be the font size, what kind of font, this and that. These are use what the properties to set those features. Then we have methods. It's just like a verb in English. It is an actions, or it is an action word that object exhibits. For example, show and hide forms and methods to print forms. Just like you have a form, when you are working with Microsoft Word, which I know most of you are conversant with, You can minimize, you can maximize. These are different methods. You can start to show what you are demonstrating. Maybe you print out the form. These are methods. Okay. Then when you talk about an event illustrates actions like click, press, scroll up or scroll down. These are events. Double click, right click. These are what an event that happens when, what will happen when a user is using the platform or the application you created. And a form is just like you, before you sign up in this program, you go online, you registered your details, the form which you filled. Each of those forms have different objects in it. So it entails that you have to design the form. And while designing the form, sometimes you see there are different controls or objects where, for example, in your form, you want to have a control where a specific subtext or subunit will have, maybe say, biodata. We have biodata. We have guidance details. We have academic details. We have work experience. These are different what sections of the form you can create. So it's from that forms you can get controls, and controls are the elements you place inside the form. So for example, text box, command button, list boxes. All these are different what controls through which you can use to build your form. So look at the sample of the user interface, graphical user interface, or what they call IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Look at how they are. You see where, do you see where I'm touching my mouse pointer? Do you see it? These are.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are
Okay.
seeing it.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
good.
We are seeing it.
Okay. So if you open the application, you see all these places, these ones are different objects with controls. You see text box. You just click on it and then drag it and place here. And then you see the properties here. These ones are the properties where you can set it. For instance, if you choose, let me say, the font size, you can choose Times New Roman. Set the size, set the color you want to appear. So these are different menus through which you can use it to program or create a software. Okay, you need to create a software, even if it's a software that can compute or capture personal contact. You can develop a simple program that can, where a user can open and fill in their details. It's a very simple, easy to do if we have access to the software. Very easy. I remember during my 200 level, I play around VB, even my 300 level. I used to create different kind of softwares, different time in the lab, different kind of softwares I used to program until our final year 400 level, where we will now begin to use Java. We begin to use Python. So it's a nice applications you can use it to create any kind of software you may want to. It's just like in your final year, you'll be expected to develop a software in your project using any of the programming language of your choice. That is why it's good that you have different idea of the programming language to enable you have a seamless software development than going to contract somebody to do it for you. It's not advisable. But when you know any of you begin on time to learn any of these programming language, I think choose one or two to learn so that you can use it to create and use it to develop your project. So, but if you don't do it now, it will be difficult for you. In fact, time may choke you if you want to learn it in your final year. I would encourage you before your third year or end of your third year, make sure that you learn one or two programming language. Even if you cannot get it in school, you can look for any of the IT centers. Just pay a little token and then learn it. It's very, very important. Very, very important. In school like this, most of the time we take time to teach you the theory and to be grounded so that by the time you have a opportunity to do the practical, you can easily understand or flow with it. So all these are different controls and their purpose. You can see label, frame, checkbox, combo box, timer, text box, and the rest of them, and what they are used for. You can easily read this and then get why what each of them are used. It's just like you want to select this text, sex. If they say male or female, you can use what maybe say combo box or list box to do what to select it. Or if they say is it are you single what is your marital status? It says single or married. You can click on check box or use combo box. Any of them depends on which one you are using. So by the time, if you understand this, when you are filling a form, you should be able to see what are the different controls. Each of the control, you will see what is being used for. So that is it. Now, working with the controls, this one steps to draw a control. This one is a more of practical. How you can drag your mouse and then draw it. By the time you have you be able to have that Visual Basic, download it, then all these things are very simple. You can even get it more practical using YouTube. You can go to YouTube, type how to program with Visual Basic. It is self-explanatory. You get more detailed understanding on how Visual Basic programming works. So there is additional resources or area for further learning. You can use YouTube, learn them, download the Visual Basic, and download the free software applications. You can go to just the VB Visual Basic, download it, or you go to any of these vendors, software vendors, these stationaries, those who sell computer stationaries. Tell them that you need Visual Basic software. You take it and install. Whichever one, it is very easy for you to do. So it's just like when you type in text, in most of the times we use Microsoft Word to work. You can align your text, whether left, center, or right. The same way when you type, you also use these properties to align your controls from your programming environment. So all these things are discussed about. This one is about events. This event is just like when you program, what happens when people click on the button? These buttons are there. They're all there. So it depends on the one you drag and put. It's just like you are using Microsoft Word. You want to design a card. You use oval shape. You use line. You use images, and the rest of them. So each of them you use, you'll be able to know how it's been, how it occurs. And just like some of the, if you are working on the internet, You see where you can drag some events, where you can double click, where you can scroll up or scroll down. Depends on the kind of event they deploy when they're programming it. In some links, like now, in some of the links, where you have links, if you touch your mouse pointer without clicking on it, you see it will be hovering. Do you understand? It will be hovering. It depends on the kind of event they use when programming it. So it is from there you can now maybe begin to write, program some small codes. You need to write some codes. Okay. Then there's another important key point that you should be able to understand before programming or before you write a software. There's something called data types, constant and variables. And all exams, it always appear what is data types, give example, differentiate between constant and variables. Sometimes you ask to give example. It is very, very important. Have you imagined when you are filling a form, there is a place they tell you phone number. So if you want it, maybe probably you want to type a text, it will not allow you to type a text. You can only type what number. In some occasions, you want to see a date. You can only select the date. You will not allow you to do what, to type a new one. Have you experienced that in your daily activities or in even in your office or in your personal tasks? Have you experienced such a thing where you are filling a form, a place where they say phone number, you try to type a text, it doesn't allow you. There's a place they will ask you to type only text, not a number. Or a date, you only select date, you will not allow you to type a date. Have you experienced such a thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it depends on the kind
Yes,
of goods. It all depends on the kind of variables that was used when programming it. This is to say a variable is a temporary storage location of data, or what we in other words call it a memory location of the data. You know this. Till you graduate, till your entire life, you keep hearing about variable, data type. Any programming language you want to deploy or you want to utilize, my dear, variable are very, very important. You cannot do without it. In VB, use variable. In Java, use variable. Python, C++, and the rest of them, variables are a key point. It's just like those days I was in the fundamental computer training class as a facilitator. I was teaching them that there are key terminologies in computer that you keep using it no matter the level you see yourself. Even when to the point you become a professional or a professor, you cannot do without those words. Especially, see, copy and paste. Copy and paste. It sounds elementary, but you keep hearing it, keep using it as far as computer is concerned. The same way as someone who is in IT, variables are very, very important. You must know it. You must know the different type of variables. That's why we define variable as a temporal locations or storage locations for a data. Variables are used for representing data of certain types. To use a variable, you will have to do or declare it. You must state the kind of variable you want to use. You must declare it. So that computer will understand this is what you mean. Okay? By declaring the variable, you ask the compiler to allocate appropriate memory space for the variable based on its data type. The different types of variables in Visual Basic, not only in Visual Basic, in Java, not only in Java, in Python, it uses what's called boolean, byte, currency, date, double integer, long and string. Boolean data types have to do with logical values that provide a true or false outcome to programming instructions. When we refer byte is normally used for a whole number. Double is used to declare decimal numbers. An integer is used for a whole number. Maybe 1, 2, 10. There are integers. Then double integer is like maybe 2.1 or 10.5. When there is a decimal point, you have to use what? Double. That is in that manner. Okay. So these are, I'm just giving you some guidelines so that by the time you have a privilege to interact with VB, it will not look like a snake for you. So naming a variable like this now. According to Hungarian notations, you can use prefix to represent your variable or control. Normally use 3 keywords, 3 prefix, according to Hungarian notations. Hungarian notations say use at least 3 prefix to represent the short form of your variable. Take for instance, string, use str. Integer, use int. Example, int quantity sold. Maybe if you want to add the quantity, maybe say number. How many quantity of the items? Maybe say 10. Only figure 10. Do you understand? So maybe like naira, you know, sometimes we put kobo, 100 naira or 250 naira, 40 kobo. You see there is a decimal point. That is why you see here double. As in naira per gallon or thereabouts. Currency, use CUR. Currency like amount paid. List, use LST. Label, you see LBL is used for referencing when you begin to program in the Visual Basic. Image, IMG. So these are some of the examples of prefix through which you use it to annotate the variables when declaring it in your program. So use dim variable name as data type to declare it. For example, dim int is, you see it's short, all of them are written in a small letter. Total number sold. They use each of the keywords were represented with a title case. Int, total number sold as integer. Mean that if you want to enter this value, it must be integer, it must be a value. If you want to put 10.2, it will not allow you. Then declare. D means declare. Currency, total amount as currency. They are referring to amount of money. Declare string, customer address as string. Means that they can only type, string can only enable you type both text and number. That is why in your address you can put number 2 Awolowo Street. So this is how you can declare them and how it works in VB. Constant. Constant is the opposite of variable. Variable changes through the program executions, but constant does not change, it's fixed. There are occasions where data items in a program have a value that do not change. Such values are referred to as constant. In Visual Basic, there are two main types of constant: intrinsic and named constant. What is intrinsic constant? These are built or defined constants, normally stored as library files and available for use by a programmer when they are called. For example, color, VB, red, blue. You know, color, when it's red, red is red. Blue, blue is blue. Yellow is yellow. It does not change. That is what we mean by constant. We also have named constant. Named constant talks about, you have to define it. Like constant, variable name as data type equals to value. You have to declare it. You can say OB is equals to 1. Then OB plus 2. What will be the value?
Two.
What will be the value?
Two.
Correct. Because we already declared OB as 1. And when you say OB plus 2, the answer becomes what? 3. Somebody will be surprised. How can OB plus 1? I said, how can OB plus 2 is equal to 3? That is, if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. If you don't know, it means you don't know it. But when you declare OB is equals to 10, therefore, OB plus 5, the answer will be what? 15, because OB has been declared as 10. This is what we mean by constant and named constant. I mean a constant, intrinsic constant and named constant. So that intrinsic is fixed, but named constant is being declared. All right. So on your own part, try to practice the assignment statement. Okay, sorry. Assignment statement and assignment expressions. Once there is equal sign, you see equal sign, variable equals the expression. Equal sign, this is called assignment. This equal sign is called assignment. When I say OB equal to 1, then OB plus 1. See, equal, this equal sign is equal. You are already assigning, there is assignment. The expression means the statement you are making. OB is equal to 1. That equals is, you assign that OB to be 1. Then OB plus 1. That is the expression you are making to declare what your statement looks like. For example, integer number 1 equal to 5. Form main the visible, let it be equal to what? If it's equal, if it's true. If it is visible, false. Average score equal to the number of the total divided by the number of what? Papers. The equal sign is the what? The assignment. The assignment expression is this one. Form dot this is equal to this. If this is equal to this, divide by this. These are what the expressions. But this equal sign is the assignment statement. That takes us to mathematical operations. You see additions, subtractions, multiplications. You look at the sign of asterisk, like small star asterisk, is what we refer to as multiplication. Division is this forward slash. So These are the way it works. Sample program in Visual Basic is here, which you can easily see from the figure 38, user interface design and codes. Look at the sample and look at the code here. Then look at the interface here. That is what is being what they are. Look at the interface as they have been programmed, and that is all about Visual Basic programming. And you have some of the TMA or assignments where you are asked to develop. If you have the platform, if you're able to have the program, try to practice the assignment as it's written here. Using Visual Basic or any other programming language you can access. In your discussion forum, I deploy some of these questions, but I asked, you mustn't use Visual Basic. You can use any programming of your choice. Use it to do what? To develop a program that allows a user to input the cost of items of 3 products purchased by a named customer from Wazobia, Nigeria Limited. When the user clicks on calculate, the system will display the total and average cost of the items. Use appropriate controls to make your program user friendly. Sample, see figure 1 for a guide. Try to do that on your own. Okay, then finally of our today's discussions is on Module 4, Unit 1, which is control structure and string processing. Control structure and string processing. Here we'll look at using Visual Basic to describe your controls, the relationship, and the logical operators, string processing, and the rest. For instance, control structure. Control statements are used to introduce some branch or iterations, that is repetitions, into our codes. Control can be implemented in our programs by using any of the 3 fundamental control constructs. Number 1, sequence. Statements are executed in sequence. Number 2, fundamental control construct is selections. Once instructions or group of instructions is executed or another. Finally, the 3rd fundamental control construct is iterations, which is a statement or statements are repeated. Iteration means you can repeat some statements during the program development. Okay, so let's move on and see their symbols, relationships. Like this sign, equal symbol, equal sign is equal. Then less, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. Look at their symbol in Visual Basic. In other programming language, the symbol might differ. So when you pick any of the programming language, try to read their data type, try to read their variables so that you understand how they have been applied. Okay? Logical operators, not, and, or, x, no. These are normally used, for example, not 3 greater than 2, result false. 8 greater than 5 and 5 greater than 2. 6 less than 5 and 3 less than 2. They are false. Not 8 is greater than 5 and 5 is greater than what? 2. So you can use or 6 less than 5 or 3 greater than 2. True. 8 less than 5 or 5 is greater than 8 or 2 greater than 5. True. So these are sample of logical operators. In case if they ask you in the exam, state 3 examples of logical operators. State 4 or 5 examples of relational operators. Every exam it will normally come out. Even the previous exam, when I was marking, I saw all these things came out. So always know the difference, because if they ask you about relational operators and you went to mix it with the logical operators, my dear, you go fail them. If you carry relational operators and fix in a place of logical operators, you are not on track. Now failure be that too. Try to know the logical operators, mathematical operators, relational operators. It's very, very important. Second, that is the first one. Remember what we are discussing. We are discussing about sequence, selections, and iterations. That is sequence. Then for selections, in details. For selections, see number 3.2 selections. Use if statement. If statement is a conditional word statement. We have if statement, we have if X statement. If A is greater than 10, then label 1 dot caption equal to A is greater than 10. Single line if. Multiple line if. If A could be any number, is greater than 10, then let it show you A is greater than 10. Second one, let it show that B is less than 20. And if. These are some of sample codes. The same way, if an else statement is all of them are conditional, true conditional. It handles true and false conditions, both true conditions and false conditions. So all these things, when you go through them, you see them, but it's best understand when you have a hands-on, when you try to access or download, install the Visual Basic in your system. So this course, try to create your mental awareness about how programming language can be used to organize your files, to structure your files. I believe that as we move on, there may be a specific course that discuss about programming languages. However, whatever you learn here, anywhere, even to your master's or PhD, it doesn't change. If then statement is there. It was in VB, it was in Java, it was in C++, it was in Python. If then else or if X statement, doesn't change. It appears and works in all of them. All you need to do is to learn how to place them, the syntax, how whether comma or semicolon, just understand how the syntax works. But those select cases, they work the same. Okay. Mark this example 1. Select case integer exam score. Case 70 to 100, message caption A. Case, sometimes if they ask you to compute grade scores, most of the time it comes out. You can use this example 1 to manipulate it. Select case, integer this, pass score. Case 70 to 100 is A, grade A. Case 60 to 69 is grade B. 50 to 59 is grade C. 40 to 49 is what? Grade D. Case S, anything less than that, let be F and end case. You can copy this, or you see, there is indents or indentations. These are syntax. When you select case D, see under it, there is put a kind of one indent and type the second one. Mean that this label message is under what case? Label message caption B, all these are under case this, just like that. You maintain the way they are. And when you one thing about when you are working and when you're programming, anytime you come across maybe you made a mistake, you make any mistake, and when you run the program, it will give you error. It will tell the line where you have that error, where you made that error. It will tell you the kind of error you committed. It will help you to do what, to fix it. So you must, even if you are not correct, it will guide you on how you can fix those errors. These are different examples of cases of you can see in Phoebe. All right. Then the final one is iterations. You have different iterations. Do loop statements. In a program, you may want the computer to execute a group of instructions many times until a particular task is accomplished. The process of repeating a series of instructions is called looping. The group of repeated instructions is called a loop. Iteration is a single execution of a statement in a loop. The repetitions is controlled by a condition that is associated with the repetition statement. What we are discussing here is that when you want to generate maybe odd numbers from 1 to 100, you see is a continuous repetitions. Every odd number, it will not be generating the odd numbers from 1 to what? 100. Then if you want it to loop by creating even number from 2 to 100, it will just compute it repeatedly until when you get to the number 100, it will stop. Looping is continued until the number you ended it. If you say 1,000, it will take you to 1,000. If you say 10, once it reaches 10, it will stop. That is looping. So then that is, we have different loop, different iterations or loop. Do loop, while, conditional statement, and the rest of them. You say do loop. These are synonymous with a Visual Basic. We have loop while statement. Like do, you put your statement, loop the conditions you want it to end. For example, integer temp, you declare a temperature that's equal to 0. Do until the integer, the temp plus 1, means that here is 0. Here now, integer temp, you have been declared it to be 0. Here it becomes 0 equal to 0 plus 1. Look, while this is less than 10, means that this is less than 10, it means that it will be like 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, 9, because it's less than 10. 9 is less than 10. So the value to give you here it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the value to generate when you run this program. That is what will be the output. Sometimes they will give you this program. They will ask to write the output in the exam. Sometimes they will give you the output, ask to write a program to generate those values. So know the two computations or manipulations. So these are the practical demonstration of do statement or while statement. Likewise, we have string processing. So string processing. So it's just the same way all of them works. And I think in all, the ability of computer to process data, such as numbers and strings, make them very suitable tool for data processing. Okay? For you to be able to practice programming in VB, you must have a computer. You must do what? Have a computer. This one is not a matter of phone. There is limitations using phone. You need computer. Install visual programming language in your computer, or Python, or Java, or C++, or just install the Visual Studio. It has all these interfaces where you can do multiple programming. If you install Visual Studio, once you install Visual Studio, is a programming application. It has an interface where you can program with C++. It has an IDE where you can program with Python. It has IDE where you can program with Java and the rest of them. So these are the information you need to have while working with Visual Basic Programming or while working with programming language. Here we were asked to develop an interactive application in VB that allows a user to input the scores of students in an examination while the system displays the student grades. Assume that score 70 to 100 is A, score 60 to 69 is B, score 50 to 59 is C, score 40 to 49 is D, score 0 to 48 is F. Using this is what you just need to manipulate. Just manipulate example 1. It will now give you that question always come out in exam. So this comes to the end of today's lecture or class. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any concern, feel free to ask before we draw the curtain close for the day. If you have any question, you can raise your hands up, or you just unmute yourself and then ask.
Please, sir, what's the name? Please, sir, what's the name of that programming software again? Visual what?
Visual Basic Programming. VB, Visual Basic. That is the programming language. If you go online, you can type download Visual Basic Programming. You can download it or get the software in the market and install Visual Programming.
All right.
Oh, it's a Visual Basic Programming.
You mentioned something about the Visual Studio also.
Yes, Visual Studio is also another application programming software. You can also download, but it's more robust. Visual Studio is more robust. What they call VS Code is more robust, but it's an open source, meaning that you can download it. It's license free. It's proprietary. You can download it and install. But it's more used in the contemporary application development compared to Visual Basic. But Visual Basic is good for a starter for you to have a clear knowledge of programming codes. So that end of today's class. Then our next class, which should be the last class before the revision class, may take place on Friday by 6. I will send an update concerning our upcoming class. Thank you, and sorry for last week. The network was bad. Previous week, the class could not go due to my wedding that took place. So I was so busy trying to put things in place. So I thank all of you for those who wish me, whose prayers, encouragement, and then so many different thoughts and expressions and wishes. So I'm not taking it for granted. I thank everyone who, one way or the other, send his or her regards towards our wedding. Once again, thank you and see you in our next lecture.
You have to give us AOC now. Just give to us.
Is it? What did you say?
Just give to us AOC as gift. Give us AOC.
Okay, okay. That one maybe during our.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. So maybe during the revision class we talk about I would this one they previously our online or live classes.
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you, sir.
I set the cloud to record there were discussions, but I discovered that most of when I go through the cloud recording, it breaks it to a way that you hardly understand what the lecture look like. So I decided to end the cloud coverage, or recording. I have to record it. I will share the lecture material, the video discussion, our discussion. I will share it in the by email so that you'll be able to access it. Even if you miss the class, you can then go back and listen to it by video. Sorry, on YouTube. So I would encourage you, once you get the link, try to subscribe to the channel so that anytime I share some of the material, if you miss it, you'll be able to get live lectures of our class. So I will share it with you via on email when I upload it. So try as much as you can. Subscribe, watch it. More information, or if you have questions, you can also ask by YouTube or through mail. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.